Everyone has an opinion on this. Your parents say buy, your friends say rent and invest the difference. The internet says both, and somehow, after hours of research, you're more confused than when you started. So, let's stop guessing. Ryan buys, Tyler rents and invests the difference. Same income, same city, same $60,000 saved up. They both think the other guy is making a massive mistake, but neither of them ever actually sat down and ran the full numbers. So, we did. And when you lay it all out, rent increases, mortgage interest, property taxes, maintenance, appreciation, leverage, opportunity cost, all of it. One of them ends up paying over $3,300 a month for a place he'll never own. The other one is living almost for free. The gap after 30 years will make your stomach drop. Let's keep this fair. Ryan and Tyler both earn $60,000 a year. Same mid-size American city. Same $60,000 in savings. Same goal, a 3-bedroom place in a decent neighborhood, close to work. Ryan uses his entire $60,000 as a 20% down payment on a $300,000 home. He takes out a 30-year fixed mortgage at 6.5%. Monthly mortgage payment, $1,517 in principal and interest. Add property taxes at $250 a month and homeowner's insurance at $130. Ryan is paying around $1,900 a month total, and that doesn't include maintenance. Tyler rents a comparable place for $1,400 a month. He takes his $60,000 and puts it into an S&P 500 index fund, averaging around 8% annually. His monthly cost is $500 less than Ryan's. No mortgage, no property taxes, no repair bills. Just a growing investment account sitting quietly in the background. On day one, Tyler looks like the smartest person in the room. But there's something Tyler doesn't see yet. Every dollar Ryan pays is slowly buying him a piece of something real. Every dollar Tyler pays disappears the moment it leaves his account. That distinction, over time, is worth a lot more than $500 a month. For the first 3 years, Tyler's life is easy. Furnace breaks, call the landlord. Roof leaks, landlord's problem. Dishwasher dies, someone shows up, and Tyler doesn't pay a dime. His only costs are rent, renter's insurance at about $15 a month, and utilities. No surprises, no 5-figure repair bills out of nowhere. And that $60,000 Tyler invested, after 3 years at 8% annual returns, it's grown to roughly $75,600. He hasn't added a single dollar. It's just compounding quietly in the background. Ryan's story is different. Closing costs hit him for about $9,000 on day one. Appraisal fees, title insurance, origination fees, then property taxes, insurance, maintenance running 1% to 2% of his home's value every year. That's $3,000 to $6,000 annually just to keep the place from falling apart. And here's the part nobody tells you when you sign the mortgage paperwork. In year one, Ryan pays about $18,200 in mortgage payments. Roughly $15,400 of that goes straight to the bank as interest. Only $2,800 actually chips away at what he owes. That interest disappears just like rent. Except nobody calls it that. After 3 years, Tyler has paid $50,400 in rent and has $75,600 sitting in his investment account. Ryan has spent over $100,000 and built only about $9,500 in equity. Tyler is winning, and it's not close. Tyler's lease comes up for renewal. Rent goes up 3.5%. That's $49 more a month. He barely notices. $1,400 becomes $1,456. The next year, $1,514. Then $1,575. Each increase feels manageable. Never enough to make Tyler panic, just enough to quietly eat into his budget a little more every single year. And it never stops. Every single year, that number goes up. Tyler just keeps adjusting, keeps telling himself, it's fine. Now look at Ryan's mortgage payment. $1,517 in principal and interest. Same number he paid on month 1. Same number he'll pay on month 120. Same number he'll pay on month 360. For 30 years, that number does not move. This is the quiet mechanism most people completely miss. Rent is a variable cost that only moves in one direction. A mortgage is a fixed cost that inflation slowly makes cheaper in real terms. Year 1, Ryan's payment feels heavy. Year 10, it feels normal. Year 20, it feels almost cheap. Tyler's rent does the exact opposite. Starts comfortable, gets heavier every single year. Tyler's $1,400 rent, growing at just 3.5% per year, becomes $1,870 by year 10, $2,510 by year 20, and $3,370 by year 30. Ryan is still paying $1,517. Something starts shifting around year 4, and by year 6, the math has quietly reversed. Ryan's home has been appreciating. Historically, U.S. home values have grown at roughly 3% to 4% per year on average. At 3.5% annual appreciation, Ryan's $300,000 house is worth about $347,000 by year 6. His mortgage balance has dropped to around $269,000. That means Ryan is sitting on roughly $78,000 in equity, a number that didn't exist 6 years ago. But here's what makes it even more powerful. Ryan didn't put $78,000 into the house. He put in $60,000. The rest came from appreciation on a $300,000 asset that he controls with a $60,000 investment. That's leverage. And it's the single biggest advantage homeowners have over renters that almost never gets talked about in the monthly payment debate. Ryan is earning appreciation on $300,000. Tyler is earning returns on $60,000. Ryan's money is working 5 times harder. Tyler's index fund has grown to about $95,000 by year 6. Solid gains. But Tyler's rent is now creeping past $1,600 a month, getting close to what Ryan pays in total housing costs. Except Ryan's payment is building him equity, and Tyler's payment is buying him another month in someone else's property. The scoreboard is tightening, and the trend from here only goes in one direction. The monthly rent number is the number you see. It's the number on the listing, the number in the lease, the number your brain anchors to when you're comparing options. What you don't see is where that number goes over the next decade, 2 decades, a lifetime. Rent never stops. There is no month 361 where the payment disappears. There is no payoff date circled on the calendar. There is no finish line. When Tyler is 35, he pays rent. When he's 55, he pays rent. When he's 70 and retired and living on a fixed income, he still pays rent. And that rent is significantly higher than it was when he was 35. Tyler's $1,400 rent, growing at 3.5% per year, becomes $1,870 by year 10, $2,510 by year 20, and $3,370 by year 30. At the exact moment Ryan makes his final mortgage payment and starts living in his home for free, Tyler is writing a check for over $3,300 a month to a landlord, and he will keep writing that check for the rest of his life. But the money is only part of it. Renting means you don't control your housing situation. Your landlord can sell the building. They can choose not to renew your lease. They can raise the rent beyond what you budgeted. You're building your life, your kid's school district, your neighborhood relationships, your daily routine, on a foundation that someone else owns. And they can pull it out from under you with 60 days notice. If I only showed you the downsides of renting, I wouldn't be giving you the full picture. Buying has real costs that people love to ignore. Closing costs hit you for $7,500 to $15,000 before you even get the keys. Maintenance is relentless. A new roof runs $8,000 to $15,000. An HVAC system costs $5,000 to $10,000. And some years, a $12,000 foundation problem ruins your entire financial plan for the year. Property taxes can rise even when your mortgage stays fixed. And your equity? It's locked inside 4 walls. You can't spend it when you need it. The only way to fully access it is to sell, which means paying 5% to 6% in agent commissions, another round of closing costs, and hoping the market isn't down at the worst possible moment. Real estate is an illiquid asset. And illiquid assets are dangerous when life doesn't go according to plan. Here's where the full picture comes together. After 10 years, Tyler has spent roughly $193,000 on rent and renter's insurance. He owns nothing, but his $60,000 index fund, untouched at 8% per year, has grown to about $129,500. Ryan has spent roughly $285,000. Mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, closing costs. Significantly more than Tyler. But his home is now worth approximately $423,000, and his mortgage balance has dropped to about $253,000. That's $170,000 in equity. Tyler, $193,000 spent, $129,500 in investments. Ryan, $285,000 spent, $170,000 in equity. When you net it out, Ryan is $40,000 to $60,000 ahead, and the gap accelerates from here. Every year that follows, Ryan's balance shrinks, his home value climbs, and Tyler's rent goes up. By year 30, Ryan makes his final payment and owns his home outright, a home that could be worth over $700,000. His monthly housing cost drops to taxes, insurance, and basic maintenance, maybe $600 a month. Tyler at year 30 is still writing a check for over $3,300 a month to a landlord for the rest of his life. I'd be lying if I said buying always wins. There are specific situations where renting is genuinely the smarter move. If you're staying less than 5 years, buying is almost always a money loser. The break-even point for most home purchases is 5 to 7 years. If you're not staying at least that long, rent. If you live in an extremely high-cost market, San Francisco, Manhattan, parts of LA, the price-to-rent ratio can be so skewed that buying makes no financial sense. And if you have genuine investing discipline, taking every dollar saved by renting and putting it into the market consistently without ever touching it, the returns can close the gap significantly. But be honest with yourself. Most people don't actually do this. The savings get absorbed into lifestyle. A nicer car, more dinners out, a vacation that felt deserved. Renting as a deliberate strategy is smart. Renting as a default you never question is one of the most expensive decisions you'll ever make. Ryan won. But not because buying is always better. He won because he locked in a fixed cost in a world where everything else keeps getting more expensive. He won because leverage let his $60,000 earn returns on a $300,000 asset. He won because every single payment brought him one step closer to a finish line. And after 30 years, his housing cost drops to almost nothing. Tyler's keeps climbing. The real trap isn't renting, and it isn't buying. The real trap is making a $300,000 decision based on the number you see in month 1, without ever asking what it actually costs you over 10 years, 20 years, a lifetime. Don't make a $300,000 decision based on month 1.